Victoria here with my 2006 Chrysler Town & Country Touring Edition minivan, 3.8 liter, just to be specific, all-wheel disc brakes. My turn signals, this is the second time it's done this. Turn signals started going haywire, as in I hit the left and maybe the right goes on, maybe the left. If I hit the right, it does the same. And then eventually it will only turn on the left turn signal whether I hit left or right on, or nothing at all. And if I tilt my steering wheel up or down, or at various different positions, sometimes I'll get it to work and sometimes it won't. Usually at the beginning of it going haywire, it'll work for a month or two until you have to actually assess the problem correctly. So, it's the second time I've done it. And I googled it, found out the turn signal switch needs to be taken out of the steering wheel column. I took my steering wheel column apart. Just the, I didn't take the column apart, but I took apart the top cover. Which was laying like so. Okay, and I took down the bottom. Last year actually, when I had to fix this the first time. And I hadn't put it back together yet. I have it in the back, but it's always something. So I took that apart, and once I did, right in here like so, lays this turn signal switch, connected by 2 Phillips screws, really easy. Couple connection plug-ins, electrical, terminal clips, 3. I removed just for safety because I didn't disconnect my battery cable. So I pulled those 2 screws. Boop, boop. Okay, pulled this out carefully. This is my turn signal switch. And I removed the 2 screws that were here and here. 2 tiny little Phillips. Okay, this is where it gets a little tedious. So you have to very carefully, after removing these screws, pull this off. And there's a little lever down here, a little switch. Be careful, you don't want to unposition it. That stays right in the middle. Or if you do move it, because it's pretty easy to move, to knock, you remember it stays right in the middle when you're positioning this back. Why is that so important? Let me show you. Let me go over to a better table. So what happens is, circuit board in the turn signal switch gets gooey and full of the lubrication that they have on it. In fact, you can vaguely see the wetness there. And I haven't opened it yet, I just removed the screws, but you can see that the lubrication is oozing out. Okay, the lubrication so the thing runs smoothly. So we carefully pop this off. Okay. Trying to do this one-handed is a little tricky. Okay. There. Hold that in place and work carefully. Going to pull that. Okay, these little springs, you don't want them to come off. Carefully pull that off. Okay. You see the gooed up lubrication that's kind of gunked up that white there. We had to clean that off, alright? And that's the easier part. Clean off that excess lubrication. That's the spring end. Over here, go to the other end. Christian, you having my Phillips screwdriver right there? Or your, never mind, you grab Phillips. And I should have done this after that. There's 2 more tiny little screws that need to be removed. I had my jeweler's screwdrivers. And I recommend using Q-tips. So something really fine to clean this, even pipe cleaners. Okay. the circuit board. Always, guys, the right size tools are always better. I have them. I'm just trying to be faster by not getting up and getting a smaller screwdriver. Usually it's not fast. Improvising can do it. Strip out screws. Okay. Alright. So. These little metal terminals. Woo, it fell out. Lord, what do we do? That's easy. This isn't too bad, but you can see the excess grease on over by the gold parts, next to the gold parts, where it's sliding. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is by the golder parts and the sides with excess grease and goo. But all of it, a lot of it's in here. And so what happens is it's on these, just a very little bit of grease, very so fine that, or lubrication, that you don't see it, but if it's in between that contact terminal, it's like a battery, and the contacts over here, you're going to get shorted out turn signals or, what do you call it? Just wacky turn signals that don't want to operate correct. Here I have a Q-tip. My son went to get more. So it's going to take a couple, because you don't want to spread, you want to remove the lube and not continue to use the Q-tip to accidentally respread it all over the terminals. Even worse. Thank you, Christian. So tedious. Tedious, but well worth not getting a ticket. The way I say to anybody who's wondering how you do anything on a vehicle is, if you think you can't do it, you can. If you can do a jigsaw puzzle, or if you ever had kids and had to put stuff together, kids' toys, kids' swings and whatnot, and the instructions are faulty and they don't give you the right info, as mother. Again, you can see a lot of the gunk. You don't want to remove it all, because you want some of the lubrication there to function smoothly, operate when you are flicking your turn signal switch from left to right. Okay? But you want to remove the excess that's built up in certain spots. Take it apart, picture in your head, you know, as long as you take it apart, you should be able to put it back together. It's much like a, certain things only fit in certain spots. But it also is a great note to take a picture of it before you take it apart. This is the thing that gets really gunked up right here. So I'm cleaning it, and you can already see. See? Yep, again, more gunk, see? These little black line up here on this one. It's gunk. See? I know it seems kind of tedious and maybe really not that important, but it is. And it's something so simple you can fix that you'd probably pay, well, definitely pay an hour's worth of a mechanic's work, or somebody who does this, like computer geek work, I guess, maybe, which is stupid because you wouldn't need to, but you'd probably spend at least $70 to $100 for somebody to do this for you. Which, pointless. Look at all that gunk right there. It's got a lot. What? Do you want me to keep more? Yeah, I think I need more Q-tips. Just got more. You okay? You tripping? Take that off. You see that? Those little dips and teeth mean for something. As I look, there's a little gear thing there with little teeth. Those are going to help grind and move that gear. So it's just simple, I hate to say common sense, but you know, being able to picture something in your mind, put it back together. Make sure you're always careful. You want to clean it very lightly. You don't want to push on it. You don't want to scrub. You want to very lightly go in between and just very lightly wipe. You can ruin this. Okay, so I'm going to start with this big piece because this is only going to fit in there a certain way. Everything's immobilized where it needs to be immobilized, as in the springs are where they need to be. You don't want to adjust anything. No adjustment on here. So, start with the big end. Only goes in there one certain way. This goes into the back end. This is your slot where the lever hangs out. These push in. They line up right to the inside. And push them in, spring loaded, to sink down into its spot. That is where that needs to go. So, you put screws on this end, cover this end back up, and pause it while I do that. Just you need to hold on to these two screws. And got that on. Slid this over the gear. This has got a cavity, a channel in this back end here. Slides over this little knob. Hard to tell. There's a screw right there. Make sure that knob is inside the cavity, channel, whatever you want to call it, as that enables the movement of your lever. I got both of the screws. Same with these. It's got this little itty bitty channel right there. Little knobs that go into that channel. So that way it's part of your movement for the shifter. And you very carefully slide that on. Okay, screw this cushion. And as I said, that's dead center. We're back to dead center where it was supposed to be. That I'll put these screws in. Okay, so left turn signal meant left. Push up for right. Right is working. Down for left. Left works. Well, we'll go right again. Right works. tilt the steering wheel, which was one of my issues. Left, left. Right, right. Turn the headlights on. Brights working. My brights were not working the other night in the middle of the back roads. It was really dark. Fixed it. Voila. My son Christian here, my tool man. He hands me my tools. Yep. She's done. That's that. That's how you take apart your turn signal switch and clean out the turntables. Really easy. So, it took me about 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, and I saved me about $70 to $100. And that was just some labor. Okay, I had no new parts at all.